Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Board of Commissioners meeting this morning. We welcome everyone that's in the boardroom on behalf of the board sitting here. We also welcome all those who have joined us virtually this morning. We thank you for joining us and your interest in our local government affairs. Our agenda is posted and it is in front of us, and it's not a long agenda, but at any rate, we'll go through it as we may in the time that have been allotted. With that said, as introduction, I'll call the meeting to order at 8, and we'll have the prayer by Commissioner Barrios. I'll do the Pledge of Allegiance, and then we'll follow up with a roll call by Clerk Fetting. Please rise if you'd like to join us in prayer.
Lord, as we begin this meeting, I ask that you keep in your heart and prayers all of the elected officials in our communities, whether they be local, state, or national. Help all of us to be able to make the best decisions to represent our elected or our representative constituents. Keep them safe, financially feasible, and make the best decisions for our futures going forward. I pray for the first responders in our communities, whether that be fire, police. They have dangerous jobs, and their responsibilities are to keep us safe. I ask you to help us make the best decisions financially for our community. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Amen. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone. Roll call, please.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
Commissioner Barrios.
Here.
Commissioner Bardwell.
Here.
Commissioner Vaughn is absent. Commissioner Lutz.
Here.
Commissioner Cook.
Here.
You have a quorum. You may proceed.
Thank you, Clerk Fetting. The first item on the agenda is adoption of the agenda. Is there anything that needs to be added this morning? And if not, is there a motion to approve the agenda as provided?
I'll make that motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Support.
Moved by Commissioner Barrios, supported by Commissioner Lewis to approve the agenda has been presented this morning with no additions at this point. With that said, is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, the agenda this morning has been adopted. Moving forward, the next item on our agenda is action on previous meeting minutes. Meeting minutes of February 26, 2026.
Mr. Vice Chair, to adopt the meeting's minutes from the February 12th, 2026 closed session, February 26th, 2026 closed session, and February 26th, 2026 regular meeting.
Support.
Moved by Commissioner Lewis and supported by Commissioner Barrios to approve to adopt, where are you getting that? To approve the meeting minutes from February 12th, 2026 closed session, February 26th, 2026 closed session, and the February 26th, 2026 regular meeting. Now there's a motion.
Thank you, Commissioners. We did miss having the closed session from the 12th approved at the 26th meeting, so I apologize for that. That's why we have it added to this motion.
Well, thank you for that. And that covers all the,
That
All
gets
we need
us
to
caught
cover.
back up. Yep.
all right. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes of all the closed sessions and meetings have been approved. Thank you for that. Now we'll move into brief public comment period for any of the agenda items that's coming up. Does anyone like to approach the board or on any of the agenda items this morning? Anyone would like to approach the board on any of the agenda items? There is an extended public comment period at the end. It's not restricted to agenda items, but this is just on the agenda items. Hearing or seeing none in the boardroom, and I don't believe there's any virtual. Let the minutes show that we offered public comment, and we didn't receive any this morning. Next item is a consent agenda. We don't have one. So moving on to new business, the first item is the courthouse lawn request by Nancy Matusik, National Day of Prayer Volunteer Coordinator. Nancy?
Good morning, Commissioners. Yes, Nancy is requested to use the courthouse lawn for the National Day of Prayer on May 7th. We do this every year. They set up a tent. They have a microphone. They use the power from the courthouse. And a couple days before, they do set up a couple banners inside the lawn. So this would be up to you to approve.
Been done for many years, as I recall.
Many years.
Mr. Vice Chair, I move to approve the use of the courthouse lawn on Thursday, May 6, 2026 to hold the National Day of Prayer. This approval includes permission to display banners a few days in advance, erect a tent the day before the event, and utilize the electrical outlet for a portable sound system.
I'll support that.
Moved by Commissioner Cook, supported by Commissioner Luce, to approve the use of the courthouse lawn on Thursday, May 7th, 2026, to hold the National Day of Prayer. The approval includes permission to display banners a few days in advance, erect the tent the day before the event, and utilize the electrical outlet for a portable sound system. Any further discussion? All right, thank you. Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Opposed? Hearing none, the courthouse lawn request by Nancy Matusik has been approved. Moving on to item 2, the Register of Deeds new hire request for Lisa Will, and Mike Miller, our interim administrator, will be presenting.
Yes, the Register of Deeds is requesting to fill the vacant part-time account 2 clerk position with Lisa Will.
Vice Chair, I move to approve the per recommendation of Mary Ann Brandt, Registered Deeds, to hire Lisa Will to fill the vacant part-time account clerk in position 2 in the Registered Deeds office starting March 23rd, 2026 at step 1, a rate pay of $17.87 per hour pending a favorable physical, drug screen, and background check.
Support.
Moved by Commissioner Lewis, supported by Commissioner Barros, to move to approve the recommendation of Mary Ann Brandt, Registered Deeds, to hire Lisa Will to fill the vacant part-time account clerk 2 position in the Registered Deeds office starting March 23rd, 2026 at step 1, rate of pay at $17.87 per hour, pending a favorable physical, drug screen, and background check. Is there any further discussion? I just have a question. Is this is filling a retirement, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right, any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none. Registered Deeds and hire request for Lisa Will has been approved. Thank you for that once again. Item number 3, discussion for a possible resolution for Command Sergeant Major Terry P. Richardson, U.S. Army retired. Nancy Barrios will be presenting.
Yes, Commander Sergeant Richardson made the state of Michigan, as well as the Thumb area, very proud when he received the honors from the president over the last couple of weeks. He is currently on vacation in Florida, be returning in May. But the fact that he was recognized at such a high level just speaks the need to have us recognize him for that effort. In the past, when he came back from the service in the 1960s, he was recognized by the county press with an article at that time. But he wasn't given this national recognition until just recently. And it's fitting that he received that recognition. I've spoken to him by phone. He said he will be returning and would be happy to come into the meetings should we decide to go forward and put together a resolution honoring him. I don't know if you need a motion for this or if you don't, or if it's just
Could
for
we
a
have a little
topic of
discussion while
discussion.
you might have some discussion?
No,
Oh, okay, for the motion. Is there any discussion or is it just myself?
Oh, go ahead.
This is a tremendous surprise in terms of this man has lived amongst us, and to read his service record and what he did to go unrecognized for this many years, almost is an atrocity in my mind, because the fact is that, and I'm sure there's others, how all of a sudden he was selected is a mystery. Maybe perhaps someone knows this. My first thought was that should we be coordinating, or maybe someone has already approached Senator Daley, the two representatives, Deerline and Alexander, to do a joint resolution. That would be more fitting, I think, than three separate if they were going to do it. But I'm sure they would be just as interested.
I did not contact any of them because it was my district. He was living in Fairgrove. As a matter of fact, his partner, his wife passed away a couple of years ago, and his partner still has a house here in Carroll. But because he was in my district, I wanted to bring this to the board for discussion and hopefully approval.
It'd be nice to have something from the state.
Yes,
I would think to coordinate it with both
Yeah.
and have it would have our representative and senator here.
Well, that'd be nice too.
Well, it would be an event anyway. So shall we direct our interim administrator to reach out to the senator and the representatives with that question, if they haven't already been approached?
I would.
I can do that.
Or Nancy, you can as well. Work it out.
I'll let you, Mike.
I'm sorry?
I'll let you make that
Okay, yeah,
communication
yep, I can do that.
on behalf.
And since it's a May day, we have, right, it comes back in May. We do have time. So he doesn't live in Cass City, he lives in Fairgrove.
It's one of those things, and when we talked, it's the same like as me. When everybody asked me, where were you born? I was born in Cass City too. I never lived in Cass City because the hospital was in Cass City, and Dr. Donahue delivered both myself and Mr. Richardson. So when they say, you know, where were you born? And people say Cass City, people naturally assume incorrectly that you lived in Cass City. I was searching, I contacted Deb Powell and I said, Deb, can you help me out with some information? I understand this gentleman has lived in Cass City. I can't find anything, she said. And then after talking to him, he explained, I was born in Cass City, but lived in Fairgrove. His father had a business and they had a farm and raised horses. So,
You just never know.
nope,
Well, there is a motion. Shall we table the motion until we find out more information with representative and senator? And
I think so.
just a note for off the record, Dr. Donahue delivered me as well.
yeah, he did.
I think he delivered everybody
I think so.
back then. Carried my mother up the Pleasant Hill steps, as she used to say. All right,
Vice Chair,
yes.
should we set a date? Like the first COW meeting in May is May 11th, just so when interim Director Miller gets hold of the senators and stuff, would that be,
Yeah.
make sense?
You don't
You think
get-
you'll be back by?
I think he said May 7th that he would be back.
Usually
That
we
was
do
the
those
date.
at a
Or at a
board.
regular
Board
meeting?
meeting.
Yes,
meeting.
because we have to do a motion
Oh, yeah,
to,
sorry,
that's
the
okay,
14th, huh?
14th.
to
14th
shoot
of
for
May.
that date.
Yeah, that'd be on the meeting
We can
day.
reach out to him too and ahead of time to see if that would work for him.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, Commissioner Cook. That's well thought out. Anything else that we may have missed? No. All right. We'll look forward to hearing more about that, hopefully at our next meeting, maybe the whole. That was number 3. Moving on to number 4. Is magistrate new hire request? Mike Miller, interim administrator, will be presenting.
Yes, the court has sent over this request. Magistrate Van Auken is retiring. I don't know what day he's retiring, but he is retiring. And what was explained to me is that this position is by statute is required for the board to approve. So they have sent over this request for you to do so.
Well, we definitely need a magistrate. Is Alexander, is she local? Any thoughts on
I
that?
do not know that answered. So.
Just curious, since it's so hard to recruit, I was wondering. All right. Any other questions on the request?
Do we know what line item that's coming out of and when, I see when she's gonna start, but anybody know that?
We did send over a request for wage and step, and I was instructed that that would be sent over after to HR for that information.
That's a court budgeted position, so the court manages that.
In the
And it's-
the physical, the background check, they do all that?
The court handles all of their own employees for that.
That is true. But appreciate the fact that we were able to find someone to replace Joe. Joe has been there for many years. I don't know how many. Does anyone care to guess?
I've been here for 24 years, and he was here before me,
I was,
so.
it's close to 30, just over 30, I believe.
Might be another individual we might want to recognize for the years of service. Well, we wish him the best, even though we don't know when he's going to retire, but at any rate. All right, is there a motion to set cause?
I'll make the motion to approve the request from Judge Amy Grace Gerhart, Chief Judge, to hire Attorney Alexandra Huntley to the magistrate for 71B District Court to replace Joseph Van Auken with a starting date of March 30th, 2026.
I'll support that.
Moved by Commissioner Barrios, supported by Commissioner Cook, to approve the request from Judge Amy Grace Gerhart, Chief Judge, to hire Attorney Alexandra Huntley to the magistrate for the 71B District Court to replace Joseph Van Auken with a starting date of March 30th, 2026. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Opposed? Hearing none. Request is approved to hire Alexander Huntley. Moving on to number 5, the American Federation of State, County, and Municipal Employees, AFSCME, General Unit, Mike Miller, Interim Administrator, will be presenting once again.
Yes, the ASME unit has approved a tentative agreement. The attorney prepared the sheet that I handed out is a summary for them and the others on this agenda of what transpired. And this does go back to January 1st. It is retroactive. So it is up to the board now to approve it.
Is there any further information from the attorney who is negotiating with this? Did she feel comfortable?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
Was there any further information that our negotiating attorney had provided? I see one's a 2-year contract, the other 2 are 1 year.
Yeah, we asked her to provide a summary of what the highlights were of the contract changes, and that's what she has provided. It's my understanding that although the language cleanup wasn't done yet, that's why we don't have the agreements yet.
And does everyone need a moment or two to review this since it was just passed out? Did the attorney give us any of her thoughts on the increased costs? What would these 3 packages cost the county? Anything like that?
Anybody want to comment?
Morning.
Good morning.
So everything that you have in front of you is well within the parameters that was discussed in sessions. Okay.
That helped a lot.
Union by union would be different, but we went over the numbers previously, so we are well within those numbers.
So from your perspective, in terms of what was projected for the budget for 26, does this fall within that realm?
That would be-
I mean, in terms of outlay?
It is above what was budgeted for the initial budget. So there, I believe in the motion, it requests budget amendments as necessary.
That's what I caught. So any conjecture on how much over?
I know we ran through those numbers with Jamie, off the top of my head, for general fund. I don't, yeah.
We've been all over the place with the
I'm
numbers.
sure you
And we did, I believe, present some of those numbers in our closed
We
session.
did, yes, that's what I was trying to say, yeah.
So
We did not go above those numbers.
we did not go above those
Right.
numbers.
That's what I was wondering. We didn't
Well,
go
the
above those.
budget, and I might be able to help, the budget was prepared with a 0%
That's
increase.
correct.
Yes.
That's
Zero.
correct.
0%.
Zero.
So I think that might
Anything
answer your
above-
question.
yeah.
So it would be, if you look at 0 to what is stated in the agreement, that would be the amount of increase for each department's line item.
No, thank you
Does
for that
that-
reminder.
Does that help answer that question?
Gonna go up from there.
Yeah.
In terms of the amendments then, what are your thoughts in terms of funding this then? What was the discussions? Do you have any thoughts? For the budget, what would be amending from?
Well, at this point, it would have to be use of fund balance. However, we haven't finished our audit for 2025 yet to see where we land for 2025. So we're hopeful. Right now, we're trending decent for 2025. So if we we didn't use the full budgeted amount of fund balance that was projected in 2025. We budgeted 650,000, was down to 420. Now it's down to closer to 100,000. So yes, it's still use of fund balance, but it's less scary because you budgeted 650, you only used 100. So in 26, we're hopeful the same will happen, right? We're tightening up our budgets everywhere we can. So we have a budgeted use of fund balance of 150,000 for 2026. So if we're, even with the budget amendment, if we can tighten up our reins and stay within that parameter, that would be the goal. That doesn't mean that that is what will happen.
Right.
But that's the goal. So we will do budget amendments to the line items for the salaries as indicated. However, our goal is still to stay low. So tighten up on other things.
Well, appreciate that information, Erica. That is very germane to this whole discussion in terms of the position you're in now. So it's good news. We're under 650, maybe under 100, and we do have some latitude, so to speak, that we can use. But it wouldn't bust the, as you said, it wouldn't bust the ceiling of that, would it?
Right. So that's the goal, right? So we're still in the process. The audit's not done, but we're trending at a decent amount for 2025.
Okay.
So, and Connie is off this week, so she didn't present, plus the cow was moved. So we plan to have her in next week or the next meeting to give you the financial update. However, it's again going to be preliminary. The audit isn't complete. It's going to be, as of today, this is how we're trending for 25 and this is how we're trending for 26.
All right, I'm just going to quickly call on Commissioner Cook as co-chair of finance. You have any questions related to the contracts, expenses?
Not really, unfortunately, when we put the budget together with a 0% increase, anything is gonna be an increase over the budget, you know. But I understand why we did the 0. I'm not saying we did it wrong. I mean, as far as we don't have a total number, what all the contracts that are in front of us, but just looking at the percentages, I think they're right in line what we've talked about in every closed session. And
in regards to the negotiations with the different units. I'm actually very happy with what they've agreed to.
It does leave one unit, we're still negotiating. So
Yeah, that was another question I was gonna ask, how many more?
And that one is, which one is it?
Well, Erica, when she brings back the numbers the next call, will it reflect this or not?
Yes, for the 2026?
Yes,
Yes, the budget projections will include that.
okay, thanks.
Shelley has been working feverishly to get the exact number for the retro, as well as we're working on the budget amendment. So we just wanted to wait till it was officially approved before we made those budget amendments. We prefer to do one and not multiple, so we want to make sure it's correct.
Okay, thanks.
On the steel Vice Chair Bardwell, what's the unit that we're not?
We still have corrections.
Corrections, okay.
Any other questions? If there's no other questions, is there a motion for approval?
Vice Chair, I move to approve and to accept and ratify the February 27th, 2026 tentative agreement with the American Federation of State, County, and Municipal Employees, AFS-CME. Also further move that Chairman Vaughn is authorized to execute final collective bargaining agreement and all other necessary documents consistent with the terms of the tentative one-year agreement with an effective date of January 1st, 2026. Also, all appropriate budget amendments approved as necessary.
I'll support that.
A good one to support in terms of length. So moved by Commissioner Cook, supported by Commissioner Roots, to approve and accept and ratify the February 22nd, 2026 tentative agreement with Police Officers Association of Michigan, POEM. Road Patrol also further moved that Chairman Vaughn is authorized to execute a final collective bargaining agreement with all other necessary documents consistent with the terms of the tentative one-year agreement with an effective date of January 1st, 2026, and all appropriate budget amendments approved as necessary. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none. Tentative agreement with the Police Officers Association, POEM, has been approved. Moving on to number 7, the next step. Police Officers Association, Michigan, POEM dispatch. Mike Miller, interim administrator, updating.
Again, this is going to be the same as the others. They've ratified a tentative agreement, and it is up to the board to approve it.
Mr. Vice Chair, aren't we on number 6?
Yeah, we're on 6.
We missed
Oh.
6.
Did I skip one?
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
you
skipped
skipped
6.
All right. Well, let's
We don't
do
want to forget Road Patrol.
Does it have to be in sequence, or can we do 7 where we're at?
Let's go back to 6, please.
We'll go back to 6. The request of the clerk. Police Officers Association, Michigan, POEM, Road Patrol, Mike Miller.
Yeah, again,
I think you just stated that.
it's the same as the other.
All right.
Mr. Vice Chair, I move to approve and accept and ratify the February 22nd, 2026 tentative agreement with the Police Officers Association, Michigan, POAM, Road Patrol. Also further move that the Chairman Vaughn is authorized to execute a final collective bargaining agreement and all other necessary documents consistent with the terms of the tentative one-year agreement with an effective date of January 1, 2026. Also, all appropriate budget amendments approved as necessary.
Support.
Moved by Commissioner Lutz and supported by Commissioner Barrios to approve and accept and ratify the February 22nd, 2026 tentative agreement with Police Officers Association of Michigan, POEM Road Patrol. Also further move that Chairman Vaughn is authorized to execute a final collective bargaining agreement with all other necessary documents consistent with the terms of the tentative one-year agreement with an effective date of January 1st, 2026. Also, all appropriate budget amendments approved as necessary. That is the motion. It's been presented and second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none. Police Officer Association of POEM, Road Patrol has been approved. Now on to number 7. Police Officer Association, Michigan, POEM dispatch, Mike Miller, administrator, you presenting?
Same as the other
It
two.
was
Same but different.
ditto. Any questions for Mike? If not, there's a motion
Chairman, I'll make that motion. I move to approve, to accept and ratify the February 12th, 2026 tentative agreement with Police Officers Association of Michigan, POAM Dispatch. Also, further move that Chairman Vaughn is authorized to execute a final collective bargaining agreement and all other necessary documents consistent with the terms of the tentative 2-year agreement with an effective date of January 1st, 2026. Also, all appropriate budget amendments approved as necessary.
I'll support that.
Moved by Commissioner Barrios, approved by Commissioner Lutz to approve and accept and ratify the February 12th, 2026 tentative agreement with Police Officers Association of Michigan, POAM Dispatch. Also further move that Chairman Vaughn is authorized to execute a final collective bargaining agreement and all other necessary documents consistent with the terms of the tentative 2-year agreement with an effective date of January 1st, 2026. Also, all appropriate budget amendments be approved as necessary. That is the motion brought forward. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none. That completes the 3 contracts that were presented in summary this morning. There isn't any further questions or discussion. We'll move on to number 8. Dispatch new hire request for Amanda Raymond, interim co-director, Terry Tabar. Will be presented.
Morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
We're requesting to rehire Amanda Raymond to fill a vacant dispatch position. The estimated start date on or around March 31st.
Mr. Vice Chair, I move to approve per the recommendation of Carrie Tabar, interim dispatch co-director, to hire Amanda Raymond, who has over 9 years of previous experience in our dispatch center, to fill the vacant full-time dispatch position at step 4 at the rate of $21.54 an hour, with a start date on and around April 1, 2026, pending the favorable physical, drug screen, and background check.
I'll support that.
Moved by Commissioner Lewis and supported by Commissioner Cook to approve for the recommendation of Carrie Tabar, interim dispatch co-director, to hire Amanda Raymond, who has over 9 years of previous experience in our dispatch center, to fill the vacant full-time dispatcher position at step 4 at a rate of $21.54 an hour, with a start date of on or around April 1st, 2026, pending a favorable physical, drug screen, and background check. That is the motion brought forward. Is there any further discussion? Hearing or seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, the appointment has been approved.
Thank you.
Thank you, Carrie. Moving on to item number 9, Planning Commission appointment, and our County Clerk Jody Fetting will be presenting.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
We have advertised for the vacant Planning Commission position, and we have Emery Close. He has applied for that, and he is in Commissioner Lutz's district, and we were expecting him to apply based on his conversation with Commissioner Lutz. So we're just asking for that approval of appointment.
Vice Chair, I move to approve Emery Close to the Planning Commission for a partial term expiring December 31st, 2028.
Support.
Moved by Commissioner Cook and supported by Commissioner Lutz to appoint Emery Close to the Planning Commission for a partial term expiring December 31st, 2028. Just remind me, who's he replacing?
Lonnie Custer.
Oh, yeah. Forgot that, I'm not sure.
Yes.
Any further discussion? All right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none. Emery Close has been appointed to the Planning Commission.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you, Clerk Fenning. Moving on, well, in the old business, please remain standing. The old business, Tuscola Behavioral Health Systems, TBHS Board of Directors, term corrections, and Jody, I think our county clerk will continue presenting.
Thank you. When we appointed and did the reappointment, I had the wrong beginning and ending. So I just need to correct that motion. So the terms actually begin on April 1st and end on March 31st.
And I had it a month early on that, so just a correction for that motion, please.
Mr. Vice Chair, I move to amend the consent agenda motion 2026-M-047, item 2, to appoint Daniel Grimshaw, Kenneth Partridge, and Karen Schneider to the Tuscaloosa Behavioral Health System, TVHS Board of Directors to a 3-year term beginning April 1st, 2026, and expiring March 31st, 2029.
Support.
Moved by Commissioner Roots and supported by Commissioner Barrios to amend consent agenda motion 2026-M-047, item 2, to appoint Daniel Grimshaw, Kenneth Partridge, and Karen Snyder to the Tuscola Behavioral Health Systems, TBHS Board of Directors to a 3-year term beginning April 1st, 2026, and expiring March 31st, 2029. Any further discussion? Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none? Motion has been corrected.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you.
Thank
Clerk, you
you.
need those back?
Yep, thank you.
I got mine in Matt.
Okay, great, thanks.
And moving on to item, you want to hand me? Thanks. Item number 2, under old business, Justice AV Solutions, JAVS quote for circuit court. Ian Lee, Chief Information Officer, will be presenting.
Actually, I will start that off. At a previous meeting, this was brought to you. It was sent back to the court asking to look for a grant to cover the costs of this. Erica did look through MMRMA, see if we could find a grant that matched. Really didn't see anything that would match up with this type of a project. I did speak with Ian yesterday. Could we provide the equipment ourselves? We could. Unfortunately, JAVS won't support it. So if something goes wrong, I don't even believe they would be willing to hook it into their system. It's not something Ian wants to support. Have 2 separate systems in there. So it is, it's my recommendation that we go ahead and approve this, and we pay it out of the capital fund, out of the miscellaneous line item.
Thank you. Administrator, any discussion? Miscellaneous line item, what's that have in it?
Miscellaneous.
Dollars.
Well, it's just in the capital fund. The capital fund has a fund balance as of yesterday of 1.7 million.
Part of that's the jail.
I'm sorry?
Part of that's the jail.
No, that doesn't include the jail. Well, I mean, it could include project in the jail, but that's not the jail fund. That's a separate.
That's separate.
Yeah.
So out of that capital, what'd you say, 7?
So
What's been committed for 26?
I believe it was like 160,000.
Only 160,000?
Yeah.
Is that being pushed out like we did years ago, and then we meet the dead end at some point in the future where it costs us twice as much? What?
Well, there were, I believe, I'll speak for maintenance. I did delay projects based on what we were looking at, and I believe there were many other departments that did the same. So yes, potentially it could come back around, but you know, we had to do what we had to do this year to get through.
Yeah, I understand. So there's funding in there. I think from the interference it's causing within the jury box, it's probably a good and wise decision. I'm not sure what other alternatives you have. You've investigated them. We asked you to investigate them. It's either yes or no, and there's not many options other than that, correct?
From what the research that we could do, yes, this seems to be about the only option we have.
Well, Commissioners, that's my thoughts. I hope you share yours, but
I have a question. So, Mike, what are we holding off on as far as maintenance? You said you have 100,000. What's that for? And what else are you holding off on?
I don't remember off the top of my head what all the 100 and I believe it's 160 that's requested for this year, but I did hold off on doing some parking lot projects, held off on doing roof at the adult probation building, that sort of thing.
So how bad is that roof?
bad that it needs to be replaced.
At a cost of
Oh,
potentially,
Potentially, you're probably looking 50 to 60,000.
go ahead, Commissioner Lutz.
I think roofs come pretty close to being, have to be done. You know, we got to protect the buildings we got.
Well, I understand that, but again, this is something that the jury needs to be able to see video evidence. Unfortunately, there is another television up there, but it is all the way across the room. And there could be potential issues with that.
So I'm thinking, Commissioner Lutz, what you meant was, this was just a side note, not versus the AV. This was, what else do we have that we need to get fixed? The top of the
Exactly.
list, it's a roof. What if it leaks? What if it? I think that was just a sidebar comment that maybe we should look into that.
And what parking lots are we holding off on?
Well, the maintenance parking lot, the DHS needs to be resealed. MSU needs to be resealed. The annex parking lot, at some point, part of it needs to be torn up and reground.
So you're looking at quite a bit.
Well, I mean, I'll put on my maintenance director hat and I'll just tell you that, the 1.7 that's sitting in there, there's enough projects that we could do that we could spend it all. It's just we have to prioritize what's the most important. And based on the budget that we were looking at last year, we made the decision to hold off on some of those. Now, they're like the roof at adult probation isn't, structurally unsound. It's just the shingles are faded, some of them blown off that we've had to go put back on. And we would never delay anything that was going to be a safety concern. But I'm not going to tell you that it isn't going to leak.
Commissioner Lutz, would you agree that perhaps it should be an agenda item, like for a committee of a whole, just to review the capitals and what are the top things that could cause us the most damage if we didn't repair them?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We'll set that aside to this AV question.
Yeah, we used to do I used to do a 10-year projection on what I saw coming up, and I can definitely update that, bring it back to you.
I'm sorry to go down that path, but when you mentioned roofs on that,
Well, we had previous boards have been there and and you've been there and saw the effect at the end. It makes you question at times, but you question both ends. But on behalf of the board, Mike, I think we coordinated, if the city was doing parking lots or whatever, we coordinated with, perhaps shared the same paver and got a discount? Did that happen in the past?
There's been a few times we've done that in the past. Yeah.
Is that something that you'd even consider in the future?
Sure, yeah, consider it. If we can work it together, sure.
Would the board like him just to give Scott a call to see if they've got any future lots just in case?
Why not?
absolutely.
Yeah, we can do that.
All right. Well, let's move back to the AV if there's.
Vice Chair, I
go
just have
ahead.
one more question. Ian, my only question on the quote was the $1,000 shipping.
It also includes the transportation of the deck to come from Grand Rapids and back.
Okay.
So it's not
That makes
just
more
that
sense.
piece of
Yeah.
equipment.
Okay.
So they'll be hooking that up?
Yes.
Like I said, the other meeting, it just sounded kind of high, but if that includes that, that makes sense 100%. Thank you. Thanks, Vice Chair.
And, Judge is good with this?
Judge is happy with this. Should it be passed?
Is there a motion then, unless there's other discussion?
No, that was my only question.
Okay.
Vice Chair, I move to approve the Justice AV Solutions, JAVS, quote recommended by Ian Lee, Chief Information Officer, for a TV rolling cart for the circuit courtroom in the amount of $4,440.50 to be paid from line item 483-359-955-000. All necessary budget amendments are authorized.
Support.
Moved by Commissioner Cook and supported by Commissioner Barrios to approve the Justice AV Solutions, JABS, quote, recommended by Ian Lee, Chief Information Officer, for the TV rolling cart for the circuit courtroom in the amount of $4,440.50 to be paid from line item 483-359-955-000. All necessary budget amendments are authorized. That is the motion. Is there any more discussion related to? If not, I have just, what's the timeline on this? Is this,
As soon as possible.
I mean, is it like 30 days?
Well, we'd be having to schedule it with the Jabs company, so as soon as they're available,
Okay,
I'd say within 30 days.
30 days or so? Okay, just curious. Any other questions?
They're gonna keep the old the screen there across the courtroom?
That will stay in place.
Thank you. Any other questions?
Good.
All right, there's no other further questions. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, the JAB system has been approved, and hopefully that meets the needs of the court and those jurors whose needs are getting bumped, I guess. Moving on to correspondence resolutions. I don't know about yours, but mine's got a big red line through it. So I presented this to, I think I sent it to the interim administrator, or was it Eric? I don't know who I sent it to, but to put it on correspondence. I debated, thinking that appropriateness or not, I mean, the daily, well, the daily's not line, beer line and Xander and anybody else was going to have, I suppose we would treat them the same way.
Commissioner, if I may pause you.
Yes, you may pause me.
You
I'm
are
sure your red
flirting
line's,
with campaign finance.
your red line's right there.
Yeah, yes, my red line is right there, and I'm gonna pause you.
I saw Jody Fetting right there.
So, if I can pause you on that, please.
You did, and you did it very eloquently, but
Thank you.
I certainly wasn't to any means other than yes. But I understand that.
Yes, thank you very much.
So my black line went over your red line.
Thanks.
All right, any other correspondence resolutions? Didn't make it. All right, we'll move on to wait a second here. Commissioner liaison, committee reports. We can start with Commissioner Barrios, if you may.
Okay, let's start out with the County Road Commission liaison. I haven't been able to attend their meetings because of the conflict with this meeting. Hopefully schedule will change soon. But I wanted to point out a couple of things regarding the Road Commission. I do get a copy of their agenda. It's a one-page agenda. I do not get any supporting documents. I went online to see if I could find any supporting documents, but all they have is their minutes from the previously approved meeting. So that goes back to February 12th. We had Mr. Campbell here at one of our meetings who came and indicated to us after attending the Road Commission meeting that, and I want to make sure people understand this, there is a work project on M46 and White Creek Road that is scheduled from MDOT. It was postponed from previously, and so it's been rescheduled. Will take effect from May until August. There will be a detour of M46 traffic down M53 to Bevins Road and Herds Corner Road. That's where the traffic is going to be directed. I heard that from Mr. Campbell at this meeting, and I called and talked to the Road Commission chairperson to ask if that was indeed correct. And she did verify that, yes, it was a postponed project. It's been rescheduled. Detour will be approximately May to August. And road traffic will be directed back down 53 to Bevins Road and Herds Corner Road. Chairperson Matuzak indicated to me that they would have MDOT go through and scout the roads to make sure that all signs are in place prior to that detour. And I would just like to say that of the 6 intersections that we addressed as a county board that were problematic, that detour will hit 3 of those 6. It will be Bevins Road and Herds Corner Road, 1 intersection problem. If the traffic goes south, it will hit Herds Corner and M46. Item 2, the second intersection. And if that traffic is diverted to the north, it will be Herds Corner Road and Deckerville Road, which is the 3rd of the 6 intersections. And I do want to say that our roads are in good condition. And as far as I know, we are not missing any stop signs on any of the intersections that we have. The problem is not that we're missing stop signs, it's that people are not stopping for the stop signs. The whole issue that was brought before us by the townships and that we've gone to the road commission to address. How do we fix the situation where people are not stopping? So I just want to bring that to your attention that there is going to be an active detour and it will be hitting 3 of the 6 intersections that we've identified. In looking
Can I ask a
for,
question?
yes,
When will that start again?
May. May till August. And it's because of culvert work on White Creek Road and M46. I also went looking on the website for some financial information. We've been asking for financial data. I did have that conversation with the chairperson, again, indicating that we would like to have a presentation. I think I talked to Mr. Tuckey in December, the end of December, asking him to schedule a meeting with Erica to come and present. I sent a message and the response was, I received your message. Okay, so I went online to try and find any other data. Our information is posted, our agenda and supporting documents are posted. All I see on theirs is the approved minutes. And there's a lot of information there, but it's not relevant to anything that we were particularly looking for. I happened to look at their last audit, which was their 2024 audit, which is posted online. And I found a very interesting item on there. And I'd just like to read that to you. And this is from the Road Commission audit, directed to the Road Commission. The Road Commission is a component unit of the County of Tuscola, Michigan. Because the county is a direct beneficiary of the services provided and is financially accountable for the Road Commission. Now, those are two issues that we've been debating back and forth about. My understanding, when you're dealing with trusts or similar, when you have a beneficiary person that's offering that service, has a fiduciary responsibility. I told 3 people from the Road Commission to attend our meeting in December. And that was the Director of Finance, the Highway Engineer, and the Director of Operations, because there were so many questions that we had that were coming to us, not only from residents, but from townships as well. At that time, that request was respectfully declined due to schedules. We have not had anybody show up here since that time. And to my knowledge, since I've been appointed here in mid-October, nobody's come before the board from the Road Commission directly. I do want to say that while I was attending some of my constituent meetings Monday, that both the highway engineer and the director of operations did attend the Upland Township meeting to ask if there were any questions about their proposed projects or any other questions. And they were asked about the April meetings and indicated that they felt that the elected Road Commission representatives were qualified, highly qualified to do the job based on the information that they understand and know. I just want to point out another fact. We are elected, I was appointed, hope to be elected this next round. But we are appointed and elected from the constituent areas that our municipalities are from. The road commission board representatives are directed at large. In other words, they can come from any part of the county. And we have, if I'm not mistaken, we have 2 with addresses of Vassar, and we have 2 with addresses of Carroll, and of course, Jack Lowry, who's in the Cass City area. So when we talk about, I want my elected representative to represent me, we are the elected representatives from the communities. I just want people to understand that and to know that. The road commission board is elected. Those people are elected at large, and they are elected to do the services of the road commission. I'm disappointed, and I'm just going to say that for a fact. I'm disappointed. Good people. I don't have anything against any of the individuals there, but I think we've come to a stalemate, and I don't think there's any fixing it. How can we be a beneficiary of theirs and yet struggle to get information on their finance despite asking, struggle to get and not get people to come before us to answer any questions that we have that our constituents are bringing to us, and we as their final resolve to do anything about any problems. And we can't get any resolve. And here in their own documents from their own audit, it says, we are a beneficiary, we have financial responsibility, so why can't we get some interaction? And I think that's very problematic. I don't know when that started. I only came on board here in October, but I'm gonna tell you, this is not a good situation to have for somebody that we're depending on to represent the situation. And just as a reminder, April 2nd and 7th are the hearing dates at the People's Building. Great Start Collaborative, that meeting is scheduled for later this week. Health and Human Services Collaboration, the Human Services Council meeting, DHHS and Tuscola County Medical Care Facility, again, is later this month. Parks and Recreation meeting is March the 17th, and we'll be discussing a number of things at that particular meeting, including the host and a site plan from Spicer on the property that we have on the Cass River at Washburn and Chambers Road. So that'll be another topic. Saginaw Bay Coastal Initiative last meeting was held in Bay City. And that meeting is also, the next meeting is coming forward. As far as local units of government activity, the Akron Village has an Easter egg hunt scheduled for April 6th. Elkland Township, I attended their meeting. They're preparing for their budget hearing, have an ambulance meeting scheduled for the 11th, which was yesterday at 6 o'clock, and are holding Board of Review meetings. I attended a webinar based on budget and finance through michigan.gov, and at that meeting, we were talking about budget and finance and responsibilities for pension and pension-related retirement benefits. I asked the question about the road commission, and that response from Treasury also was, yes, if they go defunct, you're responsible for them. So that's where we stand there. I also attended, along with Commissioner Lutz, a meeting yesterday at POET on their carbon recapture program. That's all I have.
Commissioner Bardwell, can you refresh our memory about when the road commissions, when their retirement plan was going, it was in bad shape? Did they come to this board to see about, can you refresh our memory about that?
I'll do the best I can. In that time, there was a funding concern about the pension, not unlike many counties at that time, including ours. But we were in the position to be responsible. And Mike Tuckey and others, they did come in and present, and it was resolved. I mean, it was basically just to make sure on the board's perspective, because they are ultimately responsible, as the auditors have said, which is being debated by their attorney and others, I guess, unfortunately. But that did take place. And so, as Commissioner Barrios said, we are ultimately responsible for any debts, and that was the reason that we had them brought in at that time. There was what we're experiencing today, Commissioner Barrios. I've never seen this, but it didn't happen then. It was more of what can we do to prevent this, and they had a plan, which worked out. I mean, as it was partially said in the paper, but the real issue is that we are ultimately responsible, and we should be working side by side, especially in situations related to the community financially. So I hope I answered that question.
Thank you. I wasn't here, and I know you were, and you had had the ins and outs. At the end of the day, we're responsible.
Yeah, well, as far as the auditor said. If I could just hold the comment off until just a couple more reports on, then we'll open up to public comment. Is that all right for you?
My wife and I are both road commission retirees, so I can answer some of your questions.
Okay, Ken's been there longer than I can remember. All right, with that, anything else?
No, other than to say that I know that they've made long improvements in rectifying that situation. They've moved forward.
Well, thank you, Commissioner Barrios. I'm going to go next. The Behavioral Health will meet another week or so. It'll be Thursday, probably the 26th. The Carroll DDA TIFA, they met yesterday. I was making maple syrup. I didn't make it at noon. I did make the special meeting prior, the week earlier. The issues are their market manager has resigned, and the question came up of replacement, and then the question came up in terms of revenue, which led into their financials, which led into how much does a county in TIFA provide. And that was the last 3 years, it's around 30,000. The individual that they were thinking of hiring was going to be 60 plus. My concern is that the DDA is still pursuing it. On a positive note, that is for downtown development. The farmers market is definitely part of that, but there's not been a list to my knowledge of what's been developed downtown, if that makes sense for the DDA. So back when Mike Hoagland was here during the 2008, during the crisis, we had just before the wind energy funded us. That was one of Mike's contentions, what he wanted to reduce or eliminate the TIFA funding. I mean, he was looking for, which hopefully we won't get there, because other than non-mandated services, there's not places to go, not many places to go in FTEs. So with that said, I'm not sure what the outcome yesterday was. They wanted to hire this person would be responsible for the DDA and the market. The market generates about $10,000, but in the last meeting I attended, it wasn't sure where the $10,000, what was expensed, where it went. So some of those questions, and so Angie will be having some discussions, because she has the ultimate assessment review and approves the TIFA request. So my concern at that time, it was reported around 120, maybe 150, but really it's only 30. So questioning where else do you get revenue from, that really wasn't sure. And I'm just saying where I left off, not saying what happened yesterday. So a little bit of what's going on downtown. So that's my knowledge, DDA. EDC will be coming up. Max 7th, I'm not exactly sure what's going on with Max 7th. We did have a scheduled meetings. Anybody attend any?
I didn't.
No, maybe interim administrator, Mike, maybe you could check that out. Somebody has that old schedule. It used to be a Renee, just to see if it's still active. I don't think. MAC Workers' Comp Board will be meeting on April 7th, I think. First week of April. MAC Finance meeting. You'll be getting the notes of the MAC Finance meeting. It's going to be a very interesting one. I want to flag you. The presentation was Cole Stoker, Matt from Cole Stoker. He's been involved with Tuscola County in the past, but it was regionalization of services. So I want you to take a good look at that. And there seems to be a push of, much like the materials management and others, to regionalize collective boards, things of that nature. It was a very good presentation. Metropolitan areas seem to be more inclined than rural areas, if you can imagine. Local control, it's pretty. But I just want you to read that. Don't skip that one. This should be forthcoming soon. So we'll get it into Mike and get it on the posted on the correspondence. And as far as NACO Rail Action Caucus, that's coming up. That usually happens right after the DDA meeting, but be another week. So with that, and nothing to report on local units or government. That concludes my report. If there are any questions, we'll just move on to Commissioner Vaughn. Well, Commissioner Vaughn's not here. Commissioner Lutz.
The Board of Health will be the end of the month. Community Corrections will be next month. Genesee Shiawassee Thumbworks will be tomorrow. Me and Mr. Cook will be there in the pier. Human Development's next week. And multi-county recycling, we had a meeting, but for Tuscola County only, for the people in the townships, and nobody showed up. So I guess they're not too worried about it. So that was that. And the local units of government, Millington Village is very happy about getting their infrastructure money from the government. So that'll be coming out in April. And as Commissioner Barrio said, we was down at Poet yesterday with their meeting. It was very, very good meeting. Other than that, that's all I have, sir.
Thank you, Commissioner Lutz. Commissioner Cook.
Like Commissioner Lewis said, tomorrow Michigan Works, and I also want to thank Commissioner Barrios for giving us the information about the Road Commission Board.
Yes.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for
That's
your
all, sir.
effort.
Well, thank you, Commissioner Cook. Is there any other business that needs to come before the board at this time? Hearing or seeing none, we'll move into extended public comment, and we've had a request already. Mr. Ken Dutton, if you could come up to the mic, that would be great.
My name's Ken Dutton. My wife and I both work at the Road Commission, and I know we contributed a considerable amount of our income towards our retirement program. I don't know if this commission, what you have for your retirees, but I know I contributed a considerable amount of my income towards my retirement program, and I made a couple of other investments that they offered for my retirement program. I was also an elected county official at one time and started and wrote a program for this board. I was the elected county surveyor, and that was elected 1 year and then appointed by this board and reappointed. I did that for probably 20 years, and I don't get a dime from this board for all the work that I did for this board and the program that I wrote and started. I guess some of this doesn't make sense to me. And I've had some memory loss, so I don't remember everything that I should. But I guess I'm confused about some of this contribution and retirement fund and how much the county commission has control over the road commission, because I go to their meetings and those people on the board there, most of them understand road work. And I don't know that there's anybody on this board that would probably be able to sit on that board, have the knowledge that's needed to help that board. That's about all I have to say. If you have any questions, be happy to try to answer them.
Any questions for Ken? Ken, I just, if I may, the board, for those who don't know Ken Dutton and his years of service in terms of surveying, remonumentation was a word that we used over the years, and Ken was the individual that would go out and this rock versus this fence. You've had stories that were hard to believe going forward of what surveys were, what you run into, and it was remarkable. And the boards of the past highly respected and sought after your advice on, especially.
Still do, and I gave up my license 6 years ago.
Did you?
I go to board meetings and still get questions for my professional advice and experience. I guess I should be charging for those things, but I don't.
Consulting fee.
Yeah.
Well, I wanted to mention that, Ken, because I don't want anybody to forget that of the past. And if you just had written down a Cliff Notes version of a book of you used to tell us about your experiences occasionally.
You know, the surveys in the state of Michigan were done in the early 1800s. And trying to reconstruct some of those things was very difficult.
Yeah.
And, but it was challenging. I enjoyed it. I had 4 years of architectural drafting. I wanted to be an architect. When I come out of the service, I was in the Seabees, and they didn't have any place for draftsmen, so they put me on a survey crew. When I come home from service, I went to the unemployment office to get a job. And they said, we don't have any requests for draftsmen or architects. So they sent me to West Engineering in Flint, and I worked there for 5 years, and then went to Rowe Engineering, and then I went into private practice. And it's something I never thought of as growing up, and end up in a profession that I enjoyed my whole life. So,
Well, thank you on behalf of the board and previous boards of all your service and what you contributed to the county in many ways. I just appreciate that.
thank you.
You're welcome.
Now I have another appointment, so I have to go.
All right. All right. Anyone else like to approach the board? It's extended public comment. Greg?
My name is Greg Campo, resident of Ellington Township. I'd like to say to the board, I appreciate this opportunity to speak. I'd like to speak directly to Ms. Barrios. I appreciate your research into, research into the road commission stuff, and you're 100% spot on what's going on up there. It's seems like a little bit of a travesty that the two boards can't get along or share information. What I would like to add, because the commission meetings do happen at the same time, it's hard to get to them. Like as she mentioned, I have attended a couple of road commission meetings. Backing up here for a minute, I was present just by chance when Mr. Hoagland told us that if they were defaulted on their responsibilities, that the county itself would be responsible, which I found appalling, that you have no control over them, but yet you're responsible for them. So attending one of their meetings, how they resolved it is what they would call belt tightening. So when you tighten your belt, some things maybe get pushed aside or neglected. In my opinion, one of the things that gets neglected, which has been very recently on our minds, is winter road maintenance. If you travel any of these other counties, after a major winter storm, you'll know what I'm talking about, where you go from battling through snowdrifts to clean and dry roads. So I can only assume that some of their belt tightening, it was a reduction in public services. Maybe Sheriff Robinson would know better about this reduction in road maintenance. Maybe there's some accidents in ditch and things like that that happen because the roads weren't properly kept up during winter. In personal experiences, if it snows on a Friday night, other than maybe the major highway, you won't see a snowplow till Monday morning. And I believe that's part of their belt tightening and no overtime and such as that. I hope that Commissioner Barrios continues to question what goes on out there, and hopefully we can bring some resolution to the lack of communication between the boards. I appreciate your time.
Thank you, Greg. Anyone else like to publicly address the board on any of the issues on their agenda? Any other issues? Anyone for further public comment? One more time. I see, I always indicated there are no virtual requests for comment. There are none visibly seen in the boardroom, so let the record show the minutes that we did receive public comment from 2 individuals. And we appreciate that. Always appreciate hearing from those who have concerns related to the issues of the county. If there's no further business, take a motion to adjourn this Board of Commissioner meeting.
I'll make that motion.
Support.
Moved by Commissioner Lewis, supported by Commissioner Barrios and Commissioner Cook as a choir to adjourn the Board of Commissioners meeting this morning. If there's no further discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Hearing none, we Board of Commissioner meeting stands adjourned. Briefly, in just a moment, we will begin our statutory finance meeting. That's a moment been passed, about almost 9:20, 18:19. We'll call the meeting, statutory finance meeting to order. We'll have a roll call by Clerk Fetting.
Thank you, Commissioners. Commissioner Barrios? Commissioner Bardwell?
Here.
Commissioner Vaughn is absent. Commissioner Lutz?
Here.
Commissioner Cook?
Here.
You have a quorum. You may proceed.
Thank you, Clerk Fetting. First item on the agenda, action on previous meeting minutes for the statutory finance meeting on February 26, 2026.
Vice Chair, I make the motion, action on previous meeting minutes, statutory finance, 26th of February, 2026.
Support.
Moved by Commissioner Cook and supported by Commissioner Lutz to approve statutory finance minutes of February 26, 2026, as they've been presented in the agenda. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none or seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, the previous meeting minutes are approved. Our new business this morning is short review and approval of finance reports and checks of the 3/12/26 finance docket.
Vice Chair, review and approve the financial report and checks 3/12/26 financial docket. Support.
Moved by Commissioner Lutz and supported by Commissioner Cook to approve the 3/12/26 financial docket as presented in our packets. Is there any further discussion? Hearing or seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Finance report checks have been approved. Item number 2, review and approval of daily report and checks of the 3/12/26 daily docket. Been presented in our package today. Any further discussion? Is there a motion?
Vice Chair, I make a motion to review and approval of daily report and checks, 3/12/2026 daily docket.
Support.
Moved by Commissioner Cook, supported by Commissioner Lewis, to To approve the daily report and checks of the 3/12/26 daily docket as presented. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, the daily report and checks have been approved. Item number 3, there are no per diems to review or approve, so that concludes item 3. There is no old business unless there's someone who has one. Move into public comment. Is there any public comment related to the finance? Statutory finance? Hearing or seeing none, we'll move into a motion for adjournment of the statutory finance meeting this morning.
I'll make that motion.
Support.
Moved by Commissioner Lewis, supported by Commissioner Barrios to adjourn the statutory finance meeting this morning at about 9:20. Thank you, everyone. Oh, all those in favor?
Aye.
All right, we are now officially adjourned. Thank you, everyone, for joining us this morning. We appreciate your attention and look forward to you joining us again, once again, when we have our next committee of the whole meeting on the 23rd.